up until our journey to have a baby, my plan and God's plan were exactly the same. And so it was easy. It was easy to trust God. God's plan is awesome. He knows what he's doing because it was exactly what I wanted. And then all of a sudden, God's plan is very different from mine. And so I think this is God's way of, okay, Ellen, now it's time to stretch and grow your faith. We couldn't have a baby. We're trying to accept that God's plan is for us not to have a baby, and then all of a sudden we have 5. We're pregnant with 5.
I'm watching the ultrasound. I figure it out about 15 minutes into this. I go, there's 5.
And I sobbed. I just started sobbing. There's too many.
There's too many to have a viable pregnancy. So we thought this was going to be fantastic, and it is not.
You will die. They will die. You can't do it.
It's impossible. We will have to reduce this pregnancy.
What? Like, how can this be? I've prayed for years for a baby, and then now this is happening? And it was awful. Shock, fear. It was awful. This is what God says is the right thing to do. This is what the Bible says. But I'm gonna die, and my kids are gonna die, and all these doctors who know what they're doing are telling us we can't have this pregnancy. You know, it was like an internal struggle. Like, what do I do? And I'm so glad that I had Stephen and, you know, all the other people who are around us. And so as scared as I was, as scared as we were, we said, okay, we've got to find a way to fight for them and do everything we can to make sure that we've given them a chance. Actually, there's quite a few people who are having high order multiples. And I remember Stephen coming home and saying, well, there's this doctor in Phoenix. This is Dr. Elliott. And I remember vividly that he said, Ellen, there is no reason that you cannot have a successful pregnancy. It was a couple weeks later that I went into labor. And I remember being in the triage at the hospital and saying, it's not gonna end
We're not
good.
gonna make it.
We're not gonna make it. I remember praying every morning, like, God, help me find peace in this bed. Find a way to say thank you for at least giving me, you know, a baby. We still joke about that. I just want a baby. Well, now we know. Be careful what Stephen prays for. So the babies were in the NICU after they were born. The shortest time was 6 weeks. The longest time was 8 weeks. We flew back from Phoenix, and I remember being like, what are we gonna do? There's 5 babies and just 2 of us. And the women from Christ Church showed up the next day without me even asking. Our life is a testimony to the strength that God gives you when you think you have nothing. Today, you know, almost 5 years later, He's still giving us patience and strength just to even get through the day sometimes. He's giving us wisdom. He's giving us peace, and He gave us joy. Now I can look at it and I see evidence of His goodness and of His plan being different than my plan, but His being so much better, as Stephen was saying. And I can totally see Him pulling me to Him so much more than I even thought that I could be when this all started.